Okay, so we have our window and wall made. Um, these are separate parts right now. They're three separate parts, which we originally created from this part here. So um, I also have our maps here that we have. But right now, we're going to create the rest of the building using this wall window piece here. But for right now, I'm just going to attach these windows to this wall because that's not going to change. It's always going to be in that configuration of wall, window, wall. But this we'll be using a bunch of different ways. So um, I'm just going to drag this over to the spot where we have our paper 3D model. And an easy way to move something to exact spot, or not exact spot, but just over where you want to use it, is you could turn snap on and just snap it right to that place. And then now we're over here where we can work. So um, here is our 2D paper model. Uh, Actually, we have missing walls here, but I think that's just a glitch in 3ds Max. If you actually just try to rotate them and then like undo that, it brings them back for some reason. Not sure why. Um, Also, from the time that we built this 2D paper model, a few things have changed or that are wrong with the model. Um, these areas here um, should not be with these small walls here. Um, it is my mistake on the reference. It kind of looked like. Okay, so here's our reference here. Um, so when I was building this first, it kind of looked like this wall here was a small wall, and these two were small, so I made three small ones. But it's actually not like that. It's actually um, it just looks that way because this big fox sign is blocking it. Um, so uh, we're not going to do it the old way. We're going to do it the right way, the new way, where it's just big wall, and then big wall, small wall, and so on. Um, Here's one of the whole building, or most of the building. So um, that was my mistake, but we're going to fix that when we build the actual one. So, and you notice too that I think we turned this setting off before in one of the videos. Um, the window is just like going off the screen here. That's just because I have um, my show safe frames on, so we can turn that off. Okay, so now that we have our model here, we're going to be using these pieces to build almost the entire face of the building. Um, Turn all these faces here. So yeah, these faces of the wall here we're going to build. So if we look at our reference, this is all right so far. So, but what we need to do is create a separate piece for um, each side of the middle wall here. Um, so what we're going to need to do is separate this piece for now. Just separate it, copy it over, hold shift, and then just drag on the move tool. And I'm going to go to my wireframe, edge faces, turn that on, and then go to edge mode. And I'm going to go to connect and then the option box. And I want two edges. And then we're going to go to my front view by hitting F on the keyboard and then Z. And then I'm going to go to the vertexes, vertex mode. Make sure preserve UV is on. Check that box there. That's very important that you check that box. Um, in fact, it's almost a must to check that box, but we're still getting that distortion. So even by checking that box, it's not going to work. So let's undo that. Okay, so we don't have those edges there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these two top and bottom edges, go to connect again, and you'll see what I'm changing here in a minute. Um, not going to go two faces, not going to go three. I'm going to do, I don't know, let's take a look at our reference again here to make sure. If I can open this up in Photoshop, maybe we could see it better, zoom in a little bit more. So let's turn our grid off, hit Z for zoom, and so the wall's pretty thin here. So I'm going to go about, like, let's say this is our thickness for our side here. The wall would probably be at least one or two of those, so plus some more. So I'd say about two more of that size and then plus some gaps. So let's go back into max, and it looks like right now if we go 10, this is, let's go 9 here. This size is about the size of this plus a little bit more. So I'm going to hit OK here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to delete these interfaces here. So I want to keep this face, I want to keep this face, and delete the ones in between. Okay, so I'm also going to select these and go back to our perspective view, and I'm going to snap them together. But first let's delete these bottom faces here, and then I'm just going to go and grab these faces, hit S for snap, and then I'm going to snap these to these other ones here. Okay, so now I think that'll be our piece there. That'll be our wall, a small wall. It looks, you know, this amount right here is about right here plus some, and same thing with the other side. So I think that looks really good to the reference, or really close to the reference. So I think we're going to keep that, and I just want to make sure all of our faces are showing. Okay, so that looks good. So now we have our main piece, we have our window that's totally separate, and then we have this other piece that is one piece as well. So with these three pieces we should be able to build this the rest of this wall for this building. Okay, so let's get these made and copy these pieces over to make our biggest wall. It probably counts about 80% of the building is these pieces here just in a wall. So what I'm going to do is, actually when we're snapping these pieces together, I can't just snap this to here because that's not where it is in the bottom view is really going to show us where we're going to be snapping to. So it'll be, what I'm saying is it's important to snap it to the right place. So I'm just going to snap this to right here, and that's exactly where this piece leaves off. So that is okay. So now that we have this middle piece, we're going to need the window again and then a big piece. So I'm going to take this window here and just snap it right to the side, and then let's move all this just, I don't know, somewhere else so we can have some more room here, and turn snap back on. Then I'm going to snap this piece by holding shift to right here. Actually, undo that or delete that. We have all we need right here. This is all we need because it's the same pattern across the whole board of the building. So I am going to keep these as pieces. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to hold shift and copy them from right to that point to this point here. And I'm going to do copy, and I want to make I don't know, 20 copies. It's probably going to be way too much, but at least we'll have what we need. So I'm going to hit OK. And now that's copied over 20 times. So we don't need that many. We probably only need about a third of that, or 2/3 of that. So I'm going to go to my front view and then Z to zoom. And basically what I want to do is turn off this paper 2D model, and I've actually already done this part, so I'm going to turn on my final building, which is the correct spacing, big, small, big, small. So let me just turn that off again, and then I'm going to select these, and we're going to move them into place, or well, from the right side over, we're going to move them. So about lined up right there on that side. Doesn't matter because this is the first part of a building, so we can start wherever we want, but I just figured we'd start right here, very top right, and then we're all set there. And then the last one is going to be, yeah, this is going to be the last piece right here. So everything to the left of this we don't need anymore. So let's just delete that, and then I'm going to hide my previous building, and I'm just going to grab this section, and you can see the poly count if we do edge faces. It's pretty detailed, maybe a little too much, but we could always have this be the high detailed and then make a lower level of detail, lower polygon one later. But for right now I wanted to get the most out of this project and the most high-res textures and the most 3D. So probably from far away these windows don't need to be this high-res, but at the same time I'm going for performance, but also want to make it look as nice as possible. So this is probably too many polys. I mean, this is just one row of, I think, like 8 rows that we need. So 8 times 3,000 is going to be a lot. But for right now, I'm just going to go with what I have. And I think this is good. I think it's probably too high poly for maybe a mobile game, but I think, we'll get to that low poly level of detail later on. Right now I need to move this. Being this is pretty much our only building in the scene, it's not a huge deal, this poly count, but it is definitely a concern of mine. But if it is too high poly, we can easily make it low poly. So, but for right now, I'm looking for quality textures and models. So, yeah. So, and there's plenty of LOD tools out there and low poly procedures and scripts that will do that for us really quickly. So not too worried about that right now. So I'm just going to copy this without the snap tool on, and I'm just going to copy it down, and then cancel that actually. Sorry. If we do it that way, then we have to line each of them up. If we do it just once, they'll line up perfectly. So this might be so let me turn snap on. I think I'm going to go with this very corner piece here. Only problem is we're going to have to bring it all the way down here, so it's going to be a pain to find. being this far out, but if we just make sure we get that snap point there, hold shift, and then right to that end point there, and then copy this 10 times, because I don't think we're going to need more than 10, but so that copied it pretty perfectly. So that's way too many, but if we turn on our final building, I think we only need, let's turn this off, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think in our reference we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're going to need 4 of them. So let's turn this off and go back to our original one, or our new one, and we're only going to need 4 of these. So go to front view. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything below here we don't need. I guess that was a little overkill, but that's okay. I'd rather create too many than not enough and have to do the operation again. So there's 80% of our building. So we have that done. So I'm just going to do a quick save here. Just go save as and then hit this plus button. That'll make it one increment more. And I'm going to stop the video now, and then we'll continue on with the next part.